So we are a minute away from market close, and AMC looks like it's going to land right under $8 for the day. If we take a peek over at GME, they're also going to close up 6% on the day at 27.58. Now, there is a lot of speculation out there right now about FTX, this company, the CEO, where the money was actually going, where it was coming from. If you've noticed it all around YouTube right now, all the I'm sorry videos are coming out from the likes of Meet Kevin, Stephen Graham, Andrew Jeek, all these guys who promoted FTX and, had links in their descriptions. This is one thing I hate about YouTube, is when things like this go down. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the speculation of where this money came from, where it is all gone, its ties into politics, into Ukraine. How does this happen, and what does it mean for the future regulation of cryptocurrencies and for the retail investor? What could it possibly mean for GameStop and AMC going forward? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more today, but before we get way too far ahead of ourselves,
Chew the speeder.
This is the way.
Brothers, Kramers, forget about them. They were low hundreds of millions, they're out. This right now is poised to run. We're in the biggest liquidity crisis I've ever seen in my entire life. It is huge. People, over the weekend, you have no idea. This makes 2008 look like a joke. Things will go our way. That being said, at the end of the day, you can feel this inside. I can feel it inside. I can see this. You don't need calls for that. I love everybody. At the end of the day, I wish you best on your calls. But people, we won. TikTok.
How the fuck are they doing this? And this is where you come back to the original video that I was talking about a long time ago when I first popped up on YouTube. Is this shit is all fucking rigged. Now you're understanding why the charts, the graphs, and all this bullshit is all fugazi. The market is a fucking illusion. The reason I'm reporting on it is because at the end of the day, I want you to see through my eyes what I'm telling you is the biggest fuckery in the market. So I tell you, be careful, because all these fucking charts and all these fucking graphs, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. Because behind the scenes,
I think we all basically are like this with FTX. So I'm done with the FTF, XTX, yada yada whatever. So for the powers that be, FTX is your thing, not my thing anymore. Moving on. First XTX, I'm not a fucking detective. Like, I followed it, like, okay, it got to a point where, like, this is now people are like, where is this person? Where's that? I don't give a fuck about that.
now, is it possible that Lou actually doesn't give a shit about this? Yeah, it's possible. But you know what? There is one guy out there who gives a shit about a lot of this stuff. And we're going to talk about him right now. And his name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Watch.
The fuck do I give a shit?
Billionaire, because he believes in the concept of earn to give, which means his goal as a human is to make as much money as possible just to give it away. Earn to give. And that's exactly what he's doing.
So let's say that you have $100 and you want to figure out what you can do with it to help the world. Earning to give is thinking about which causes, which charities save the most lives per dollar. This $100 can go as far as it possibly can to help the world.
Now, say what you will about Sam and his looks. It appears to me like his heart is in the right place. He's looking to help people. He really wants to make the world a better place. And let's see how he has been able to do that over the last 2 years while he's been running FTX, his cryptocurrency exchange. Watch.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried. People call him SBF. He's the founder of FTX. He also controlled a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, but that's all gone now. He wants you to think he's this sweet guy. He even brought in a famous YouTuber who called him the most generous man in the world. Yep, that happened. Truth is, Sam Bankman-Fried is a liar and a crook. His personal crypto, FTX token, was basically a Ponzi scheme hidden below layers of Moonbro jargon. He even went on Bloomberg's podcast and bragged about it. Yep, that happened. He used his Ponzi token as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars that he couldn't pay back. He then used those real dollars to build an empire out of dying companies like Voyager and BlockFi. This led Jim Cramer to call him the new JP Morgan. That's weird. It's not like Jim Cramer to promote a billionaire con artist. SBF sold people cryptos like Bitcoin, or so they thought. What they really bought from SBF was an IOU. But as long as everyone didn't cash in their IOU at the same time, the scheme worked. Until it didn't. This other a-hole who hates SBF came along and engineered a bank run with some passive-aggressive tweets. It worked. SBF didn't have enough money to repay everyone at once, and now his customers have lost everything. He misappropriated $4 billion trying to save his failing hedge fund. Whoops, that's a felony. He spent $21 million on Super Bowl commercials, $5 million for the big guy, $40 million in campaign donations. I wonder what he wanted in return. And everyone who's pointing at this story and saying,
"This is exactly why we need to regulate crypto."
remember that SBF stole billions. That's already a crime, and he spent a lot of it on bribing politicians. Also a crime, in order to create a crypto monopoly for himself. Government regulations don't protect the customers, they protect the crooks. That's exactly what SBF was trying to do.
So maybe you're thinking to yourself, this guy isn't so bad. He's just, out there trying to do some good things, and he's a Democrat, and he's trying to donate to the party and help the party that he supports. Well, I wanted to see exactly what is his agenda. Why is it that he is donating so much money to the Democratic Party? Is it possible that he is using this to funnel money back into the DNC, and that's why there's been no regulations on his exchange? Well, let's go look at the top 10 donors for the midterm elections that we just had last week. And number one, of course, is our Hungarian-born U.S. investor and philanthropist, George Soros, the most handsome 100-year-old man in the world. And if we come down the list, we're going to see some familiar names, especially one that will pop up right here as you see Mr. Kenneth Griffin. And as we come down, we eventually get to Sam Bankman-Fried, who had total donations equaling about $40 million. That number, I think, is adjusted now to, I think, $70 million. And it says affiliation here, Democrat. Bankman-Fried is the founder of CEO. He is a new addition to the list of top donors. The billionaire crypto exec sent most of his donations, $28 million, to his Protect Our Future PAC, a super PAC focused on preventing the next pandemic that mostly backed Democrats facing progressives in primaries. So establishment Democrats is what he's talking about here.
Anything like that amount of money.
And he is funding everything you can think of. Global warming,
It's one of the biggest problems that we have to tackle together as a world.
COVID-19 preparedness,
We have to be ready for the next pandemic.
neglected tropical diseases,
More than 1 billion people suffer from them. We have to eliminate these diseases.
and of course, animal welfare.
Animals deserve to live just like we do. It's also why I'm vegan.
Sam doesn't need the money to buy a Lamborghini or to buy a Rolex or to impress his friends. In fact, his car is a Toyota Corolla.
Hold on. Where's your car?
It's that one there.
That's like what, a Toyota?
Yeah, it's a Corolla.
Why don't you buy a Lamborghini, man?
I didn't have any particular need for one.
He wants to get rich in order to impact the world and change it.
So I think it's pretty safe to assume that there are going to be some major changes coming because of everything that has transpired with FTX, the CEO, this guy, SBF, because big people were involved with this. There were big promoters, Kevin O'Leary, other YouTubers out there who were pushing FTX. The fact that the World Economic Forum backed it, and now if you go to their website to actually look at it, it will tell you right now, according to them, that page does no longer exist. But of course, you can go back in the archives and look and see that the World Economic Forum was a huge pusher, and that a lot of the money was being put through the Ukrainian government. They were taking the money, the donations, the billions of dollars from U.S. taxpayers, and they were taking it onto this FTX crypto site and turning it into fiat currency to use for weapons and other items for the war. But a lot of it was getting pushed right back into the Democratic National campaign funds for the politicians, which is why they allowed it to be unregulated and why they allowed him to run wild. And now that the damage has been done and the little guys have been hurt, now here they'll come with the clampdown and say, see, we need to start regulating crypto because things like this get out of hand, when this was something that could easily have been avoided and was called out months ago. Now, there's a lot more we could get into tonight, but unfortunately, we're running out of time right now. I want to talk about how this could have an effect on the meme stocks in the short term and the long term. I'll probably have to wait till tomorrow. I am going to say one last thing, though, before I let you go. I am so sick and tired of seeing this government, these corrupt politicians, funneling all of these tax dollars back to themselves. Every single day, it seems like there needs to be, or it seems like there's a new example of this. We need to make some changes, and we need to get them made quickly. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. If you made this far in the video, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button for me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to get this thing up off the ground. I hope all of you had a good day in the market today. AMC, GME did well. We'll check back in on them tomorrow, talk about how it wraps in with FTX and BFS or whatever his initials are. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great night. And as always, thank you for all the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.